Just when Hollywood thought one of the most explosive celebrity legal wars in recent memory had finally come to an end, a dramatic new twist has thrown everything back into the spotlight. For months, audiences watched as Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni became locked in a bitter legal and public relations battle that stretched far beyond the movie that originally brought them together. The dispute surrounding It Ends With Us evolved into one of the most talked-about entertainment controversies in America, involving allegations, countersuits, reputation damage, media scrutiny, and millions of dollars in legal costs. Then came the announcement that shocked Hollywood. A settlement had been reached. News outlets across the country reported that the legal war was over. Headlines suggested both sides were ready to move forward. Industry insiders believed the courtroom drama had finally reached its conclusion. But now, according to multiple reports, that conclusion may have been far more complicated than it first appeared. Because despite the settlement, the legal system is not finished with this case. A judge has ordered both sides back to court as unresolved issues continue to hang over the aftermath of one of Hollywood's most controversial disputes. The question now is no longer whether Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni settled. The question is what exactly remains unresolved, and why the legal battle refuses to stay buried. Background and context. To understand why this latest courtroom development matters, Americans have to go back to where the entire controversy began. When It Ends With Us was announced as a major film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, expectations were enormous. The book had become a cultural phenomenon, generating millions of devoted fans and sparking conversations about relationships, trauma, and domestic violence. The film adaptation immediately attracted attention. Blake Lively, one of Hollywood's most recognizable actresses, signed on to star in the project. Justin Baldoni, known for both acting and directing, became a central creative force behind the production. At first, everything appeared to be moving toward a successful release. But behind the scenes, reports began emerging that tensions existed between key individuals connected to the project. Observers noticed unusual promotional patterns during the film's release period. Fans analyzed interviews. Social media users scrutinized interactions. Entertainment reporters began investigating rumors of conflict. Eventually, those rumors exploded into public view. In late 2024, Blake Lively filed legal claims alleging misconduct and retaliation connected to the production. Baldoni strongly denied wrongdoing. What followed was a legal escalation that quickly transformed into one of Hollywood's most closely watched disputes. Allegations and counter-allegations dominated entertainment headlines. Court filings became national news. Social media platforms turned into battlegrounds. Supporters of both sides launched aggressive campaigns defending their preferred narrative. The controversy expanded far beyond two actors. Ryan Reynolds became connected to the broader legal conflict. Major media organizations became involved. Publicists, lawyers, production executives, and industry insiders suddenly found themselves pulled into an increasingly complex legal war. The situation grew so large that many observers compared it to other recent high-profile celebrity courtroom battles that captivated public attention. For Hollywood, the case represented more than a disagreement between co-stars. It became a conversation about workplace conduct. It became a conversation about reputation management. It became a conversation about media influence. And perhaps most importantly, it became a conversation about how public opinion can shape legal battles long before juries ever hear evidence. Breaking details. Then, in May 2026, a major development appeared to bring the saga to an end. Reports confirmed that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had reached a settlement agreement connected to their ongoing legal dispute. Attorneys representing both sides announced that a resolution had been achieved, avoiding what many expected would be a highly publicized courtroom showdown. The timing was significant. A trial date had been approaching. Legal experts expected extensive media coverage. Industry observers anticipated potentially damaging testimony and evidence becoming public. Instead, a settlement was reached before those events could occur. Joint statements emphasized a desire to move forward. Lawyers described hopes for closure. Both sides publicly expressed appreciation for the film that had initially brought them together. For many Americans following the story, that seemed like the final chapter. But behind the headlines, unresolved legal questions reportedly remained. According to subsequent reporting, the settlement did not necessarily eliminate every issue connected to the case. Discussions surrounding attorneys' fees, damages, and related legal matters continued to linger. Now, those unresolved matters have reportedly led to another court appearance. According to reports, a judge has ordered both parties back before the court as ongoing disputes surrounding legal costs and potential damages continue to be addressed. That distinction is important. A settlement can resolve major claims while still leaving procedural or financial questions requiring judicial review. For viewers unfamiliar with civil litigation, that means a case can be largely settled while portions of the legal process remain active. And that appears to be exactly why this story has suddenly re-entered the news cycle. The courtroom battle may have changed shape, but it has not completely disappeared. Expert analysis. From a legal perspective, the latest development highlights how complicated major civil litigation can become. Many Americans assume that once the word settlement appears in a headline, every aspect of a dispute immediately ends. In reality, settlements often involve multiple moving parts. There can be confidentiality provisions. There can be financial arrangements. There can be disputes over legal fees. There can be motions still awaiting judicial review. There can be procedural requirements that continue even after the central conflict has been resolved. Legal analysts following the case have pointed to ongoing discussions surrounding attorneys' fees and damages as one reason the court remains involved. That may sound technical, but financially, those issues can be extremely significant. Major celebrity lawsuits often generate enormous legal expenses. When litigation stretches over months or years, attorneys' fees alone can reach staggering levels. Reports surrounding the lively Baldoni conflict suggested the broader dispute became extraordinarily expensive for everyone involved. For Hollywood professionals, the implications go beyond money. Every major legal fight sends signals throughout the entertainment industry. Studios watch carefully. Talent agencies watch carefully. Insurance companies watch carefully. Production executives watch carefully. The way disputes are resolved often influences how future projects handle contracts, workplace complaints, publicity strategies, and crisis management procedures. This is why the case attracted such intense attention from entertainment lawyers across the country. It was never simply about one film. It was about how modern Hollywood handles conflict in an age where social media, celebrity branding, and legal strategy have become deeply interconnected. Social media explosion. If there is one place where the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni saga truly took on a life of its own, it was online. TikTok creators analyzed court documents. YouTube commentators produced hour-long breakdowns. Reddit communities dissected every filing, statement, and rumor. X users launched endless debates. Instagram pages tracked developments almost in real time. What made the situation particularly fascinating was how divided public opinion became. Some users believed Blake Lively had been unfairly targeted. Others argued Justin Baldoni had suffered significant reputational damage. Still others believed both sides lost in the court of public opinion regardless of legal outcomes. The result was an online environment where every development generated immediate reaction. When settlement news broke, reactions were equally polarized. Some viewed settlement as a victory. Others viewed it as a compromise. Some saw it as evidence neither side wanted further public scrutiny. Others saw it as a practical business decision designed to avoid years of additional litigation. Even now, discussions continue across social platforms as users debate what the latest court appearance means. The story remains culturally relevant because it touches issues that extend far beyond celebrity gossip. Americans are debating workplace accountability. Americans are debating media narratives. Americans are debating gender dynamics. Americans are debating the influence of public relations campaigns. Those conversations help explain why public interest remains so intense. What this means for the future. The biggest question facing observers today is simple. What happens next? That answer depends largely on what issues remain before the court. If outstanding matters involve attorneys' fees or related damages, the legal process could continue in a much narrower form than the original dispute. However, even limited proceedings can generate significant attention because of the high-profile individuals involved. Hollywood also faces broader consequences. Studios increasingly understand that controversies can overshadow even commercially successful films. The legal battle surrounding It Ends With Us became nearly as famous as the movie itself. That reality creates powerful incentives for future productions to prioritize conflict resolution before disputes escalate into public warfare. For Blake Lively, the future likely involves rebuilding focus around upcoming projects and professional opportunities. For Justin Baldoni, future career decisions may similarly be shaped by public perceptions formed during the controversy. Neither outcome is simple. Celebrity reputation is one of the most valuable assets in entertainment. Once public narratives become polarized, restoring consensus can take years. That reality helps explain why so many observers expected settlement in the first place. Trials create winners and losers. Settlements often create opportunities to move forward. The challenge is that moving forward becomes difficult when unresolved legal questions remain. Emotional human angle. Beyond the headlines, court filings, and legal jargon, there is a human dimension that keeps audiences invested. Millions of Americans have experienced workplace conflict. Millions have experienced public misunderstanding. Millions understand what it feels like when disagreements spiral far beyond their original scope. That emotional connection helps explain why celebrity legal battles often attract enormous audiences. People see pieces of their own experiences reflected in the larger story. The Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni dispute evolved from a professional relationship connected to a major film into a conflict that became internationally recognized. Families discussed it. Friends debated it. Fans chose sides. Entire online communities emerged around analyzing developments. And throughout it all, the people involved remained under relentless public scrutiny. Every statement became news. Every court filing became a headline. Every legal development became content. Whether viewers support one side, the other side, or neither side, most can recognize the extraordinary pressure created by that level of public attention. That human reality often gets lost beneath sensational headlines. But it remains one of the most important parts of the story. Strong call to action. As this legal saga continues evolving, one thing has become clear. What appeared to be the final chapter may not have been the ending at all. The settlement may have resolved major portions of the dispute. But with both parties reportedly returning to court over unresolved issues, the story remains active, and Hollywood is watching closely. The next court developments could determine whether this controversy finally fades into history or generates yet another round of headlines. And considering everything that has happened over the past 2 years, very few people are willing to predict what comes next. If you've been following the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni legal battle from the beginning, share your thoughts below. Do you believe the settlement truly brought closure? Or do you think more revelations could still emerge as the remaining legal issues play out? Stay informed, stay engaged, and subscribe for continuing coverage as this developing Hollywood story enters its next chapter.